because whenever I jump in, I want to be consistent with that. So
Okay, well, figure that out fast, and I'll tell you offline.
I got you. I got you. I got you.
Bet.
Hank, how are you this evening?
You full of shit.
We knew it. We knew it.
Full of shit, man. I ain't gonna keep fooling with her. I keep coming over and getting abused. I keep getting
Oh,
emotionally abused.
No, Hank, I promise you.
Look here,
treating Hink like the redheaded stepchild. When
man.
you come in and
Man,
say
if this was a relationship, I'll have to leave by now.
something.
If this was a intimate relationship, like a real precious my lady,
Look,
yeah, I have to leave because
look,
she playing
look,
mind games.
look. I'm not Hank. Okay. I totally just forgot. I forgot. All right, but I didn't forget totally because I did eventually send you the link.
Well, it makes
So
Hank feel a little better. I don't even get an invite. I just jump in this shit.
thank you. Just jump in. But
See,
Hank,
I
Hank is
feel
part
not
of
even loved here. Shit. I'm not even feeling like I'm supposed to be the like when that little ugly goose comes around and chases you guys
no,
around.
no, that's why I dropped the link. That's the main reason why I dropped the link because guys don't charge it to my heart, charge it to my mind. Okay. All right.
That's what she said about braiding my hair last week too, but I'm still waiting.
Oh my gosh. See, all this request, I'm about to start charging y'all ninjas. Like this ain't free. It ain't free. It ain't free. I'm look, okay. I'm not monetized. Okay. But thank you for joining, Hank. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for always putting forth the effort and supporting us and being on the platform. You know I love you, Hank.
Oh man, I question that now.
Respect to the
After
lady.
last
Respect to the lady. No, look, y'all hold me
look,
down, and I really appreciate it.
look,
Thank
hey
y'all
King,
so
I
much.
feel like I was left at the bar just sitting there waiting. Like, I guess I got stood up. It happens, huh?
Sounds
No,
familiar. Just a little
it's
bit.
all good. I'm
All
speaking
right, so
from a hurt
we're
place.
did you did you did you hear about Fresh and Fit?
Yeah, I seen that. I seen that. I'm not, you know, look, I'm not a big fan of the show anyway. So yeah, but you know, it is what it is. I mean, you know, some of the things they were saying, how they was acting, I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner than it did.
Yeah.
So I guess they was able to benefit as long as they could. They, you ride with that wave until you can't ride no more. But then eventually, I guess the wave has to end, and I guess it ended for them. Now I don't. Was it some? Because somebody reported? Because when I seen I follow O'Shea Do Jackson, and he had a thing on there talking about some of the stuff they was doing. I guess like on Twitch, they was doing
Oh
some
no.
questionable stuff. Like he had like a T-shirt over his face with the eyes cut out, supposed to be like a Klansman hood or something like that. So I don't know if that was the straw that broke the camel's back. I don't know, but yeah.
Oh wow, somebody did put something like that in the chat, but I didn't reference it like
Yeah,
that.
they did a
Black
lot of different
Lexicon said
things.
that, but that KKK stunt was all I needed to see.
Yep.
Yeah, that
Now,
totally went over my head because I didn't even know what what that was. So
mhm.
they doing some stuff on the back end that's a little crazy.
Yep. I mean, they know how to market themselves in a way that it gets people talking. They found a formula and they were kicking that formula and milking it for all it was worth. And some of the stuff they would do, like they would say, after dark, so to speak. So they wouldn't have it on YouTube. They would
Mhm.
have it in a Patreon backwall. Now, I don't know if they were using YouTube, but then having it private so that only the paying members of Patreon could see it, but that stuff, whether it's public or private, it's still being reviewed and looked at on the back end by YouTube. So so
Mm.
so people don't understand that. Like if I got on and I created a private video that I got on saying N word this, B words that, and all this other stuff, that stuff can still get reviewed by YouTube. That is in black and white, but people don't really think about that. So if they were doing that, that could be one of the reasons. Fresh and Fit didn't come out and say what it was specifically because they're not going to know, right?
Mm.
People can speculate all
Right.
they want, but The only people that are gonna know specifically are the people at Google.
Mm. Eugene still says Fresh and Fit has been dancing on a tightrope for quite some time. Evidently, they have not seen this coming. Well,
Now,
it's
with this,
here
is it
now.
like a YouTube HR or something?
No,
That's the thing. You know, you can't get nobody on the line. You know, you have to just, wait for them to answer you back. And then even when they answer you back, it's just so vague.
somebody like Mr. Beast probably has a direct contact at YouTube, but Fresh and Fit, even though that they crossed that, I want to say that they did have 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Like I said, I used to follow them. I haven't followed them in a while, but they're not like on a Mr. Beast level. That I'm pretty sure. Mr. Beast has a direct person he could contact at 3 a.m. over on YouTube if he wanted to.
Mm. Well, y'all put Mr. Beast con- in the chat mods if you can find it. Okay. All right, so we're gonna move on to Mr. Derek Jackson because when do we ever not see Mr.
This
Derek
dude.
Jackson on social media? As everyone knows, we covered when Latarius interviewed his wife, his ex-wife, Derek Jackson's ex-wife, Danae Jackson. And so now he has Derek Jackson to tell his side of the story. I'm going to add a video to the stream. It is about like 2.5 minutes long. The end is kind of repeating the same thing that's played in it, but we'll get through it. But I want to get you guys' perspective because, as you all know, he was married to Danae Jackson. He is this relationship guru. Him and Danae met back in college. She gave her side of the story of Derek Jackson pretty much being a cheater. She gave a story of her passing other women in the hallway while they were going in and out of his room, which he revealed was not true in the interview. Not with her, with other girls. So he was like, I think she just threw us all in the boat of girls that was smashing Derek Jackson. But nevertheless, they met. They were pregnant. Eventually, they got married. They continued to have marital issues. Derek Jackson continued to cheat. Danae Jackson actually was sexually violated. She didn't tell her husband. And so there were times where they were intimate and it brung her back to her, situation with the person who violated her. And so now Derek is pretty much saying this.
Have aggressive energy towards a woman except in intimacy. And so how I would express my affection oftentimes was aggressive. Like I want to pick her up.
Yeah.
I don't just kiss her. I pin her up against the wall, put my hand around. I'm not trying to get graphic.
Yeah.
There's context here. So I
know what you're talking
come
about.
up behind her and hug on her, kind of aggressive. But that would make her really, really shut down. I ain't never been so sensitive to rejection because we all get rejected, but this the first time I felt that. And what felt safer was to go out and at least have friendships with other girls. Just the conversation felt like receptiveness, like acceptance again. But those loose boundaries turned into no boundaries. So, if we continued to clash and she continued to pull away or what have you, and I'm not getting no answers or whatever, I'm especially in my prideful state. I'm thinking, man, she got me effed up. So I'm over here doing the right thing and she over here acting like I ain't nothing. So now there's a party tonight or there's a girl on campus and then she got her own dorm room. And that's whenever I started messing around.
We're going to stop it right there for right now. So how do you guys feel about why he started messing around?
I'll be brief. I get it, but then why be with her? Why have that relationship? I don't know if he's talking about that in the point or the context of they were married at the time. But even if they were married or this was happening prior to the marriage, why is he still with her if when he's, being aggressive and things like that, she's doing different things because he wasn't aware of what happened to her in her past? Okay, that's valid. All right. Why continue to have a relationship with somebody like that? I get it. It's still like, nah, bruh, that ain't it.
Okay.
Well, I have a rule. Sorry, I mean, I cut you off. You want to hang go first?
No, you.
Okay. My rule is if I'm going to cheat on a woman, I prefer break up with you first because I know it's gonna suck no matter what, but it's gonna suck a little less than you finding out I cheated on you because I know how it feels personally and it sucks. So I felt like my heart literally jumped out of it went to my stomach and jumped out of my stomach like a alien kind of thing. But if I broke up with you because I'm not in love with you anymore, I know it's still gonna hurt, but I think it's gonna hurt a little less than actually cheating on you.
Okay. I appreciate that. Pink.
I'm right into it. Uh, so I'm sorry. What was the question again?
Um, did you hear his reasoning for cheating on her? Like, what do you think about it? He pretty much said that because, well, not because, but when they would get intimate, he would be aggressive, and that's how he showed intimacy between the two, or he would use aggressive moves, and she would get flashbacks, which would make her distant from him. And so, in order to, you know, fulfill that void, he would go out and mess with other women.
Yeah. Look, I can understand if you're used to wanting intimacy, what I mean, whatever title you want to give it, your lady, your wife, or whatever case, and all of a sudden it starts to tail off or even be cut off. There's a lot of questions. Most times you're gonna ask like, "Oh, what's the reasons?" Um, and to say, and like I said, depend on the situation. So it sounds like they was just dating at the time. I assume, I don't know if he said it during an interview, if they was married at the time when he was being, I guess, rejected before he started cheating. I don't know,
Mhm.
but you don't want to, I guess, quit the relationship just because lack of intimacy. For the most part, you don't want to do that. You try to do other things. You try to offset it, and so will a man go out and get it on the side because he ain't getting home? Yeah. That's exactly what happened with me. Uh, as far as my situation, it was lack of intimacy. It seemed like once my son was born, it just went cold turkey. I'm like, God damn, what are we doing here? And so try to be sensitive, try to be, try not to be selfish. Like, hey, I know she just had a baby 4 or 5 months ago. Okay, I'm trying to give us more time. But then whenever you are attempting to make advances, well, like you said, you're being rejected. Now, you as a man who is married, you feel some type of way. Why is my wife rejected? So now I'm getting thoughts like, is she seeing somebody else? Is she entertaining somebody else? Is there somebody else, that's catching her eye, that's catching her ear? And I'm just, it's only a matter of time. You got all type of crazy, insecure thoughts that go through your head. And so, I mean, I understand probably why he did go do it because, a man can only be taken so many times being rejected from intimacy. He's getting attention from other people, maybe co-workers, people at, I don't, like I said, I don't know if his status was maybe people on the yard. He was a football player, so he's getting all these attention from all type of women. I got my woman I'm in a relationship was supposed to be faithful to, and she's just, every time I try to do something, she's telling me no, or no, I'm not in the mood, or this or that. Yeah, a man can only take so many rejections when he's not used to that. And he's going to do what he feels need to do. Now, he may not, like I said, want to break up with her, but at the same time, he has physical needs and needs met.
So you say that you understand, but when it comes to being in a relationship, would you just would you just step out of the relationship, or would you try to get understanding from her?
That's my same
Well,
question.
I'm sorry, what's that?
No, I was going to say that I had the same question.
Uh, of course, you're going to inquire, like, what's going on? Why not get no cheeks? And you get the traditional excuse, oh, my head hurts. I'm tired. I've been doing this. I've been working too much. Or doing this. So you hear every reason in the book. It's like, damn. And so now you feel some type of way about yourself, man. Is it me? Did I gain too much weight? Am I not looking the same? Am I not smelling the same? Is something I'm doing this maybe not turning her on anymore like it used to be? So, all those things run through your head.
Mm.
But then, like I said, all of a sudden you get attention from the outside. So now you got outsiders
Mm-hmm.
boosting your confidence and encourage you and giving you inflating your ego again. Now you're like, okay, well, it can't be me because I'm getting this attention from lady over here, the next door neighbor, or the woman at my workplace. Why isn't my wife or my girlfriend or the lady who I'm in a committed relationship with? What's going on between us? And so, with her being in a situation where she was assaulted and somebody snatched her booty, that's a conversation she should have had with that man. And that would have made, I think that would have made a big difference in how he would have moved and how he would have handled her. He might have had a lot more patience with her and more understanding with her if the woman had to share that with him. Because now you got to look at her differently. Now you got to feel a little bit more sympathetic. Okay, I can't be, trying to choke her. Now I know that it kind of turns me on, and I like the rough sex thing, but I gotta be mindful of doing that because it may bring a flashback, and the flashback comes back. I might as well forget about getting cheeks for maybe about a month or two because she's in some type of a mood because of that. Now I'm definitely encourage her. Hey, we need to get you some therapy.
Right.
We really need to get you some therapy, get you some help, have a conversation because this could eventually ruin our marriage if this keeps going on. Now I'm gonna let you know right up hand, this could ruin our marriage. This could ruin our relationship. And man, that's a conversation I had to have with mine. Well, why'd you cheat? Because I wasn't getting no sex. I mean, lack of intimacy, is one of the causes of divorce. As I say, is that what you want to happen? Because that's what's going to happen. You don't think eventually I'm going to do it again because lack of intimacy? No man wants to sit there and go without. Now, maybe some men just not, they can do it. I can't. I went from 4 days a week now to once a month. Oh, hell no. That's a big fall off.
I agree with everything that you're saying. I think that should have been something that Danae shared with Derek. But when you don't share it, it then becomes like a sickness on top of a sickness, right? So she had already, they say, through sickness and health. So she had already went through being sexually violated, which gave her a sickness, right? So then you're in a relationship and you're married to someone and you're not talking to them about what happened to you. So that's causing even more sickness. She said that when they would go through things, she wouldn't tell him how she truly felt. She would just go in a closet or whatever and cry, and he wouldn't know. So that's even more sickness on top of that. And for him to, I think that for men and women, the dynamics are so different because women don't talk, then men don't talk. It's a lot of times when, there may be something going on with the man and he's not saying anything. And you can't really rush him to it. You can't really force it out of him. You can't really, speed up whatever it is that's going on with him. A lot of times men don't want to go to the doctor, right? Something's wrong with them. You need to go to the doctor. All right, you need to go to the doctor. Something's truly wrong with you. You need to, but you can't force a man to go to the doctor until he damn near dying. You know what I mean? So he got to see that he need to go to the doctor by damn near being on his deathbed. You know, and with Danae and Derek, it's like there was definitely a sickness there because instead of really turning into her, you turn to the outside. So that even compiled more sickness on top of the relationship. Now you have outside, like you were talking about, Hank, outside sickness now is, you know, permeating your relationship. They talked about Derek in this interview talked about being, he was like good and then he would be on his stuff, right? He would be good and then he would be on his stuff. Well, that's also something that, you know, it's either you're in this or you're not. You know, you're here and you're working it out and we're going to do it, or you're just not. And so to go back and forth like that with someone who's already experienced sexual trauma, there is no safety within that. He looked like he could, you know, save you. He looked like he can protect you, and physically he can, but there is no emotional protection because just as your feelings are fleeting, so are his. So those two people are never going to come together because, oh, well, you don't want me? All right, well, I'll go elsewhere. Oh, well, you know, I'm not going to tell you what's going on with me. Well, I'll just retreat and go into a corner. So those two people are never going to really be able to mesh well because you're not really feeding each other. One is going to the outside for it, and the other one is keeping it in, still festering with the sickness that's going on with her. So the fact that he would go outside of the relationship, and he said it was, you know, because of his pride wouldn't allow him to, you know, truly see what's going on with his wife, with the mother of his child, with, you know, the person that he's in a relationship with. And when he talks about his relationship talks in his clips, it's like he talks to women, warning them about guys like that.
That's the part that always baffled me about this dude. When she was going through whatever she was doing, just like you said, Precious, he didn't lean into the relationship. About 80% of what Derek talked about delved around communication. And to me, he was the epitome of do as I say, not as I do. There are people that I know who knows him, and the stuff that they've said, I'm like, all right, you have to take some of it with a grain of salt. Yet understanding human dynamics, it's like, I can see that to be 100% true. Derek's Derek, and that fool, and what he probably said on the Dear Future Wifey podcast. While I believe most of it to be true, that dude is still a leopard with his spots, and he ain't changing.
All right, we're going to keep going with the video.
Which is interesting. Now I realize something. You were trying to be on the straight and narrow, and that aggressive personality that you had, because she told me, well, she told us on the podcast that she had experienced a rape 2 weeks before y'all met.
Everything that happened that was really painful was really one long repetitive pattern.
Right.
Me feeling rejected for this, that, and the other. And she handles, you know, becoming okay again a certain way. But I didn't know certain forms of affection that were natural to me just felt scary to her, put her back in a certain space where, you know, certain things that happened. So, yeah.
And that's so interesting. It's like, I'm getting understanding. It's like you have this woman who has experienced this huge violation of her body, her soul, her spirit, this brokenness. She meets this guy who she says she just loved the mess. She loved your dirty draws. You're wanting to show your affection. You grabbing her by her neck. You being aggressive physically, you know, from a sexual standpoint. She's getting nervous. She's getting triggered on all levels. Don't even realize that she's been triggered like this. She's closing up rejection to you because you've experienced that growing up. Mom no longer is kissing you and tucking you in bed at night, rejection. So now you're like, well, now I'm going to go self-medicate. I have this history of looking at porn, and now the way I self-medicate is watching this. So now I'm going to do the outward extension of that.
Yeah.
Now I'm over here hanging out with girls. One thing leads to another. Now you over here smashing. Now it's triggering her. How did she ever find out when you first cheated on her?
All right. And she found out by their phones were logged into, or she got a new phone. It was logged into his email account, and he kept videos, like sexual videos that he did with other women. And that's when we hear in her interview that she would watch it and try to imitate those women. So those were the videos that she found in his email. Because she was involved with his business, and so she would handle certain, information, and she was logged into his email. So, with that being said, we all know that corn kills your brain cells, but not only does it do that, but if you're doing it for the reason that not the perfume lotion. I hope you're not using the perfume lotion. You better get them that Jergens, like you talking about, that Walmart brand, that Equate.
It's the reason I'm called Grooming and Reviews. Here we go.
Not the perfume lotion. Okay. What was I saying? But if you do that as a result of rejection or trying to fill a void, you're going to find yourself at a dead end, because what you're desiring, you're not getting in the human form. And so then you're in this fantasy world, and you feel like there's so much of it that the well is never going to run dry. Right. But then you find yourself in this relationship where the well is running dry. So, with corn, you got to be careful with that, because at the end of the day, it's not really putting you on the road to success. It's really, you're like in a cul-de-sac for lack of
Can
a
I
better
touch
word.
base on that really fast?
Yes.
I watched a documentary years ago. I want to say about 6-7 years ago, and it was a motivation speaker was talking about porn, and this part hit me really good. And he said porn is actually poison to your brain, and he broke it down why. I don't remember the exact details, and now I look back that I'm a little older and grayer. He's right. Porn, it is very poisonous to our brain. King, shut the hell up before I smack you. I know you're thinking about it. Baldy.
What is going on?
I will replace you. Don't worry. But porn, it is very poison to the brain. We don't, as young men, we're only interrogating, back in my day, it was, getting the Playboy, China was in it, or Trish Stratus, and who's the next hot woman in there. But now it's all free, so variable, so easily. I wonder how bad is the porn addiction now these days. And the second thing I want to touch base on, him choking and stuff. Not every woman is into that roughness. Someone want to be caressed and loved, not like, let me slam you against the wall and see what happens.
I mean, look at him. His I don't know if you can really see it, but I mean, his arms
I see how big it is. Yeah,
weigh, like 40 pounds each. It's like, dude, what do you really be doing?
Hey, it could be on, what's called it. He might be some kind of injection, and he might have any some hormone range there.
Mm.
You don't know what he's on. You don't know what he's been through. We're just getting the information as it comes, but it's a lot in behind the scenes that we don't know about. What kind of trauma he has.
Well, Pink, any final words on Derek Jackson?
Man, look, I don't have no problem with rough sex. Well, look, you don't know unless you try. I mean, if you do it and she doesn't, I guess, react to it in a positive way, you might not want to do it again. But trial and error, I guess. Or if she openly admits she likes it that way, then okay, go roll with it. But as far as anything else on this, I mean, to me, he hurt himself with all this bullshit he's talking, because I remember he used to, every time he gets in a car, he talks down about the men, and lo and behold, man, you out here just doing whatever and with whoever, and all your whole message for every woman that probably hit that like button and that was subscribing to you or following you or listening to you, all that shit goes out the door.
Mhm.
So I mean, now I don't know. As far as them two, have they officially divorced yet? I know they're separated, but
I don't think they're officially divorced yet. I think they're still going through it.
I think we had this conversation before when we talked about him.
hmm
It's going to be a Lifetime movie coming out here in the next year or so. Soon the writer strike in and an actor strike in, they're going to write a movie for this man and be on Lifetime, and they're going to get back together, go back to the church, and he'll be a pastor. She's going to be a pastor wife very soon. That's going to be the ending.
Tyler Perry might get a hold of him.
Yeah, well, there you are. They're going to have it on BET.
Amanda says, doesn't seem like he really wanted to know what she went through, or he would be more cautious of her feelings. She went through a trauma that interrupted her relationship, wants his cake and eats it too. Corey says, people with trauma need professional help, but too often their partners get blamed for not caring enough, etc. I think that people that go through trauma do need professional help, but if you are with a partner, then it is your partner's duty and responsibility to see that sickness within you and to be able to, address it and say that you need that professional help. But if they don't know that you have a problem, that could be hard. So it's really up to the person who does need the professional help to say, hey, something is going on with me. Like, you do have to you do have to say something. Eugene
Yeah,
says, mhm.
oh, go ahead. I didn't mean to.
Eugene says, corn. I was saying corn because we can't say corn with a P. Pete. Pete, you hear me? You got to say corn, okay? So corn is not good, is not a good model, because there are really barely any women who would do the things the women in those movies would do. Yeah, you're gonna have a very small population of people doing what they do in those corn movies. Corey says, I was raised some women are soft and that's how you treat them. The Derek Jackson story will be on on the streaming services near you, or the Danae Jackson story. And Jeffrey says Derek Jackson in real life Two-Face like the character in the Batman movies. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not the end of them. That's not the end that we'll see with them too, whether it be a joint venture or a split venture. They still have, I'm sure she's still, vested in his businesses. Now, what he did say was that he did say he doesn't financially support her, where she was 100% financially supported by him. So now she is going to have to generate some revenue. We saw the coaching classes that she was offering back then. I'm not quite sure if she was still if she's offering them now, but those who have been through this type of trauma, she was offering, some courses for them. So, I'm sure the children are covered, but as far as her, I'm sure we'll see, something else from her. Maybe a book. The book is probably coming from her. He has a few of them.
Yeah, and I think for the person who went through trauma, I think it's up to them to voluntarily tell their story to the significant other. I mean, because first thing first, I wouldn't think the woman who I'm with has been through some type of trauma. I would just assume no woman went through trauma unless she tells me she has. I just wouldn't assume she's been, as I,
Really?
I
I wouldn't assume that no man has not been through trauma. Like
well,
there's no man that I can look at and be like, oh, he's never been through anything.
I'm talking about like a woman being, her booty snatched. You know what I'm saying? And something.
Oh, that type of trauma.
Yeah. I wouldn't assume, say, Precious. Yeah, I know you. I wouldn't assume that. I would assume
Right.
you have it. Now, have you been through some emotional trauma because a boyfriend hurt your feelings, or did you wrong, or cheated, or anything like that? Yeah, I assume you have. But for something like that, I wouldn't. So I would need that information from you, and I need for you to feel comfortable enough to share that information with me, and
Yeah.
hopefully as soon as possible. As soon as you feel comfortable, I will hope you share that information, because that makes a big difference in the relationship.
Well, one thing that was an eye opener for their relationship too is that they didn't finish premarital counseling. They didn't finish it. So they started it but never finished it. And things like that should come up in premarital counseling. That should be
Exactly.
something that is, put out there on the table. And there are ways that, the therapist does, get that information. And so, that could have definitely been a downfall of theirs as far as not finishing that. Because if you can't finish premarital counseling, that's not a good look for your relationship. But we also have to remember that she was pregnant too before they got married. So it could have been a case of, because she, miscarried before, because she aborted before, that they wanted to go ahead with, this child. Um no, SB says it was also concerning how much her mother was involved. That is another factor, a huge factor, because their mom or her mom was in some of the therapy sessions. And it's like, he even acts like, why is she here? And, a man can't take I mean, he already got to deal with one woman. So for the mom to be in the mix was a bit much. And that does go to show you that she needs, you know, professional help, and she needs additional support, but she's bringing it in the wrong way. And for her mother not to feel as though that there's something wrong with that, then, a man is going to see that and say, oh, wait, we're in this, relationship. So,
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of red flags to me in that situation.
mhm.
A lot of red flag. I didn't know the mother. Well, it's one thing about finishing marital counseling. That's one thing, and that's be something that could be, dealt with. So, even after we got married, we can still go to counseling and say, hey, I think we need to start doing some marital counseling, because I know we didn't finish it pre-marriage. I understand that, but I think we need to go back and to get some things answered, some questions answered, and some things worked out. But to involve your mother in that relationship, I don't play that, man. I told my lady we a circle of two, and nobody's going to get involved in our circle. If we got some issues, we're gonna go to therapy. That's gonna be our third party. Other than that, there won't be nobody else getting involved. We're not going to have your moments. You're gonna go vent with your best friend and doing that. I'm not gonna go vent with my boys about my marriage. I'm not doing that. That's not what I'm doing.
Mhm.
We're gonna figure this shit out together. And like I said, if we can't figure this shit out, me and you, then we're gonna get on somebody's couch. We're gonna get on somebody's Zoom meeting, and we're gonna talk this thing through, and we're gonna work it out. Somebody asked me, well, what was your son? I said, I will give my son all the advice he needed pre-married. But once he get married, I'm gonna say, dude, you got to figure that out. I said, one thing I'm gonna tell you, here's my therapist. I would encourage you to go see this man. He could probably help you and your lady, your wife, to get the proper tools you need to work through it. But as far as any marital advice, once he gets married, my hands are off, son. It's not my business to do that, because first of all, I'm gonna be biased towards you,
Mhm.
just like some mother's gonna be biased towards her. So she's not gonna get a fair assessment. She's not. How can you get a fair assessment? That's your child, or that's my friend, or that's your friend. I'm not gonna get a fair shake, even if we both there all three of us are. I'm not gonna get a fur cut because at the back of mine, that's still my friend, and I'm gonna do what's best for her. Or that's my partner. He gonna do what's best for me. So that's not gonna be fair and equitable. I don't agree with that. So yeah, it's gonna be us. We're gonna work this thing out. If we can't, we'll go see a counselor. We're gonna go see a therapist, and we're gonna go from there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's real bad to have the mother right then on the sessions. Why? Are you in part of the relationship? Am I married to you too? No, we're not. We're not doing this.
I hear that. Shout out to John the Baptist for giving a $5 super sticker. Thank you so much for always supporting. All right, so we're going to go into the next video. Oh, we have another one. Marcus GVMC with the $2 super chat says, leave him at the crib. Damn, the restaurant. Okay, don't even take foot out the door. Just stay home. Just stay home. Okay. Canceled. All right. So we're going to get on to this next topic here from So Shameless Podcast. Shout out to Tahoe and his crew. They be doing the darn thing on their podcast. And this one is about dating. So I want to get you guys' perspective because there's one woman on the show and two guys, and they're giving their perspective, but the clip doesn't like elaborate. So I want you guys to elaborate on what they're saying.
It should be a vetting process of, I want to be in a relationship. I'm looking for somebody to be in a relationship with. So I'm going to go out on dates to see if you're somebody that is compatible with me, to see if you're a person that I can be with. If you're not, then I'm going to X you and then I'm going to move on, so forth and so on. But I feel like men, one or two things is happening here. They're not being honest about what they really want, because if you really just want access to sex, say that and let the woman choose yes or no, and you can stop wasting everybody's time. Or is broke and don't want to pay the sex workers what they should be, because that's why the sex workers are here.
That's not why people date.
No,
Nor do I think that should be the sole reason why you date, to find somebody to settle down with.
Why are you dating then?
Because
Sex.
you enjoy dating and sex.
Sex.
Men, and I'm not saying this positive thing. I'm saying that I think this is the way we work. You want a chick to like you. You want to get her to that point of liking you, of desiring you. You don't want to pay for desire.
What do y'all? All right, so I need you guys' input here. What is the purpose of dating?
Pete, please go first.
Oh, I'm going to. I got a lot to say to this one, buddy. I'm the oddball of dating because I'm dating to actually find a good woman I can marry, have kids, have family. That was how I was raised. I can't speak for every Greek, but that's how my family raised. You grow old with your woman, you love her to death, you raise your kids, make sure they have great, grandbabies. You run around with your walker and try to catch them, and hopefully you have a dog in the process too. That's how I was raised. Is I date to find my match, not to date to get laid. When I was young, 19, 20, 21, 22, yeah, I dated just to get laid, but I don't agree with what they're saying. I'm sorry. I think that you're dating to meet somebody. At least at my age at this point. I'm 37. I'm not getting any younger.
Yeah, but somebody who's 27 might say, somebody who was 40 last week said he just wanted to have fun. So, I don't think age really matters.
No, it doesn't. You're right on that. It is really how you were raised, and your mental health is too. Because I know a bunch of men who don't want to settle down. Mm-hmm. No offense to King, I'm going to throw him on the bus. I know he does not want to get married again, and that's fine. I disagree. I think he's going to, but that's my opinion. I met both of them in person. I know how they are. Just make sure I'm at the wedding, dude. Make sure I want to invite.
I'm not against it. I'm not against it. There's a lot of things about the institution.
Hold on. We're gonna roll the tape back, King. I got some footage.
I never said never. You can go back and listen to all the footage. My footage was never a never. It was a highly unlikely because there's a lot of things about the institution of marriage that I still don't
You gonna
rock
make me
with.
go back into
But yeah,
time.
please, yeah, go back. Even on all of my stuff, I never said
Okay.
never. I said
Okay.
highly unlikely.
Well,
Okay.
back to the topic. Like, this is the reason why I've been so careful with prior girlfriends, my ex fiance, that I haven't had kids because I don't believe in having kids outside marriage. I know that's very old school, and a lot of people do have kids outside of marriage. But I was raised, and I believe you're the same way, Precious. Mom and dad's together, raising, both of them. They are raised a lot better when both of them are on the same roof and they're together. I think statistics show that, and I believe in that.
Well, there are some people who were raised with both parents that don't believe in marriage because of the example that marriage was to them. And so, I would like to say that, statistically, if you have two parents, then your outlook on marriage is going to be one of a positive one. If you don't necessarily see it or you don't see a good example of it, then you're going to just say to hell with marriage. So, all right. So, King, what's the purpose
Ooh.
of dating?
All right, let me go. So in that video, she stated the purpose of dating is to vet your uh potential mate, your future mate. My problem with that is this. Okay, if that's fine, what are the metrics or the things that define how we're entering this whole dating thing? Because if she is entering it from a traditional standpoint, which if you look at the numbers, most people are. It's where the guy essentially covers or pays for the date. Essentially, that's not absolute because when I was dating, I met some people that their net worth was likely more than mine, and they were okay with when we met for the first time on a date, it being 50-50. All right. But dating to vet, if you're going to do that, then in my opinion, it has to be from a 50-50 standpoint because I'm not about to be out here. Let's say I, as a man, which, okay, now ask me, is that the way that men date? Honestly, I don't know. When I was out dating, I was dating to have fun. I wasn't dating to look for my next wife. I was dating to meet people that were like minded, that if physical intimacy, AKA sex, happened, great. You know what I'm saying? But that wasn't the driving force of why I was going out to meet somebody. And I made that known. You know what I'm saying? Like, I made it known before going out when I was meeting people. Hey, if you're meeting to look for a husband, I ain't it. If you want to have a good time, I'm your man's. So I the
Your
purpose of
man's enough.
dating, I think if you ask 8 people, you're gonna get 2 or 3 answers that may be similar if they grew up in the same culture. But I think outside of those 2 or 3, the rest you're gonna have different answers to.
Well, Corey says his answer is not politically correct.
I really want to know what my man's Corey was gonna say because and I'll wrap with this. What the guys ended up talking about as well, and what she also talked about too, is uh for people that'll essentially pay to play, go to the junior college, so to speak, pay somebody's tuition, or somebody that might be a little bit short on rent that don't mind giving up the cheeks to, what I'm saying, get their rent paid. A guy that has money, that's chump change, and they don't have to worry about anything else that comes with being out there trying to date and things like that, because it can be time consuming. So I think they all had some points, but not the main points.
Okay. Welcome to the show, John the Baptist. How are you? Oh, you're
You on
muted.
mute. You on mute.
Doing great, Precious. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks so much for joining. I wanted to welcome you, but I wanted to get Hank's perspective of what's the purpose of dating, and then we'll get you in there, John the Baptist.
No problem. What's up to everybody else on the panel?
What's going on, Big? What's going on, John? Yeah, back in the days, my intentions when I was in, high school, college, it was nowhere near marriage. It was to get cheeks. That was my intentions. And even to my mid-20s, it was to get cheeks. Now, of course, I wasn't looking to get cheeks from everybody, but just more of a steady relationship in my late 20s. And then, of course, I got married, and then, of course, get your cheeks from your wife. But like right now, situation right now, I'm looking to marry. I'm on that path to do that. So that's what I am at now. But yeah, was there a time where I was just looking to get cheeks? Yes, ma'am. This is exactly what I was looking for then. But right now I'm doing, looking for marriage and then creating a legacy with me and my lady.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, John, what happened?
Um,
The
I
purpose
don't think
of
that really.
dating.
I don't think there is a purpose for dating right now.
Mm,
And if I had to pick a purpose, I think people now is more of a self-centered, selfish reason for dating. And that's just what it is. Not if it's wrong or right. It's just what it is in today's time. I don't think there's many people looking to get married. If you look at the majority of society, I just think they want to just experience and have a good time. So what's the purpose? I don't think there is no purpose. I just think it's that's whatever feels good at the moment. Let's just do it. And that's what society expects. It's showing us every time you turn on TV or go outside in society, you see people dating. It's like there's no purpose. No one's looking to get married. No one's looking for a deep, meaningful relationship. It's just like I want to have a good time. You like the person I want to do it with. I think that's it.
mm. Um, I liked what King said when he said, "Look, I'm gonna be honest. If you want to have fun, I'm your man. But if you're trying to settle down, that's not me." I think that that's what I believe her name is Deja. I believe that's what she was saying. Be honest, be upfront. Let me know. Because like you said, John the Baptist, it's a lot of selfish reasoning, right? So if you know that someone wants to settle down, you don't want to settle down, then ultimately, honestly, you guys shouldn't be going out, hanging out, dating, doing any of that. I believe that the purpose of dating is to collect data. So when I date, I collect data. And some of the data is good, some
Yeah.
of the data is not good. I also think that when you're dating, you have to truly, truly use discernment. I think a lot of women, when they date, they collect data, and there's some data that they should pay close attention to. And there's some data that's like, I still got to fill this out. But the data that you're supposed to pay close attention to is the data of, oh, well, they don't want a committed relationship. I do. Once you see that they don't want that, why do you stick around? A lot of women stick around. And I don't think that they should, because then you are really wasting your time with somebody that don't want what you want. And then you blame that person for stringing you along when you knew all along that that's not what they wanted. So I think women get caught up in that, and I think that men get caught up in not necessarily, like last show we talked about, like, why don't guys just say, "Hey, I'm interested in you. I want to um take this a little bit further." They don't want to say that to you. They want you to assume that because they're giving you their time, that you guys. I think I forget what his name was. A guy was on the panel last week, and he was like, "Well, why can't we just assume it is what it looks like?" And it's like, no, we can't assume it is what it looks like. There has to be communication about that, and I think that sometimes guys are not necessarily always honest. I'm gonna play the video again because even the guy said it in the video, and I don't know if they realized that they did. And she's like, "Well, if you just want to have sex, pay a sex worker." Then when she asks, "Well, why do you date?" They go, "Sex." And they say food. But there's a part at the end that they said that I really want to hone in on as well. So y'all listen to how they kind of did a mixed message in here. Um, but there is a point at the end that I think that needs to be addressed.
Think I am in
That's not it. Where's this video at? Oh, here it is.
Dating, it should be a vetting process of I want to be in a relationship. I'm looking for somebody to be in a relationship with. So I'm going to go out on dates to see if you're somebody that is compatible with me, to see if you're a person that I can be with. If you're not, then I'm going to X you and then I'm going to move on, so forth and so on. But I feel like men, one or two things is happening here. They're not being honest about what they really want, because if you really just want access to sex, say that and let the woman choose yes or
I think Tahoe like, no.
no, and you can stop wasting everybody's time. Or is broke and don't want to pay the sex workers what they should be, because that's why the sex workers are here.
That's not why people date.
No,
Nor do I think that should be the sole reason why you date, to find somebody to settle down with.
Why?
My question here, before we go on with this, right? There are some people who date as a sport because they're not going to settle down. They don't want to settle down. If that's something that you want to do as a sport, why can't you be honest about that? You know what I mean? Like, why can't men be honest? Like, I'm not the settling down type. We can go on a couple dates. It's cool. Whenever you want somebody to hang out with, give me a call. But if you want anything further, I can't provide that. Why can't guys be honest about that? Especially if they're not necessarily hiding themselves from dating as a sport.
Well,
I think go ahead.
Go, John. Please go first, please.
I actually think guys should be honest about what their intentions are. I think the reason why I think this is just me assuming, because I don't have any facts on that to back it up. But it appears to me guys who can't be upfront are not confident in who they are and what they want to do. If you're confident in what you're doing, then you'll just come out and say, "This is my intention. If you're not good with this, then you're not good with it." So I think you need to be a man stand on your own square. I mean, whether it's right or wrong, I mean, I'm not promoting that, but
right.
At least be man up to say what your intentions are. I just think that's part of being manhood, part of manhood.
Well, my personal opinion, this is my personal opinion, of course. Most men who are straightforward, that the women that they're trying just to have sex, they're not into that. They want a relationship. So they will wine and dine them, lie to their face, get what they want, and dip right out. And that's not right for them either. It's you're causing a trauma to them, and they invested all this time and effort. Now they're even emotionally invested in you. You got what you wanted, and you're out. That's not right.
Yeah, some of them don't leave. They stick around because
to your
because
point, though,
they're
Groom,
continuing to get what they get.
to your point, though, Groom, they're not trying to be right. Most people are not trying to be right. I mean, right is subjective now, right? I mean,
You're
there's
right.
no really standard. There's no standard what right is anymore. So,
See, I guess I'm one of the few that I live by a standard or
Yeah.
what I believe is right. Again, I'm Christian. I'm Orthodox. I was raised a certain way by the Bible. The Bible says X, Y, and Z, and I try to follow to the T. My priest knows very well. Some things I won't follow. He goes, like he told me, don't get tattoos. A little too late. And he tells me, you sure, premarital sex? I go like, yeah, I'm not gonna follow that. Sorry, but I'm honest about it at least. But again, the same token, a lot of things I do follow to the T is like being honest. You get judged every day. You don't realize how often we get judged. Every single day we walk through out there, these doors, we get judged. Put your ego aside. Put everything aside. There's only one person who's going to judge you. It's him.
All right. I just wanted to stop it there. We're gonna get to the second part of the video. All right.
Why are you dating then?
Because
Sex.
you enjoy dating and sex.
Sex.
You see how they yelled out sex and food. I'm sorry, but isn't that why women date? isn't that part of the reasons why women date? They want to go out to the restaurant. They might want a little, sex. Like, where is the deeper meaning of it, right? So then we get to this part of the video because I think the men are confused. So then they have to add this part.
Men, and I'm not saying this positive thing. I'm saying that I think this is the way we work. You want a chick to like you. You want to get her to that point of liking you, of desiring you. You don't want to pay for desire.
So they say you want a chick to get to the level of liking you and desiring you. You don't want to pay for desire, right? You don't want a woman to desire you. Yet, Hank, you're about to, have that big day again and gonna walk down the aisle and meet me at the altar in your white dress. You about to have all that. You want you or not that you want, but your lady desires you, and she's going to continue to desire you, and she's going to be the one to desire you. So my thing is, how much desire does a man want from women? And that desire is now coming from multiple women, which makes you less sensitive to the idea of having one woman desire you. So I was just using you as an example, Hank, of you about to be desired by one woman. But when they say, oh, well, we want to get a woman to the point where they're desiring us. Well, when you get a woman to the point where they're desiring you, they want to be with you. They want to, they want to have that day with you. They want to have that life with you. So you can't get a woman to a point where that you're desiring her so much that now you're blurring the lines of you being a serial dater, but wanting the women to desire you and you not wanting to pay for it. It's almost like you want me to you want a product. There's men who want wives, but they'll treat so many women out here like, disposable pieces, that you're not really seeing a wife because you have so much of the desired woman. These women that you want to desire you have so much of that you're not even, your mind is not even focused on one woman desiring. So my thing is, I don't understand. The men want to be desired. They don't want to pay for desire. So my thing is, who is not genuinely desiring you?
I think that last guy that spoke. Go ahead, King.
No, John, please go first.
No, go ahead. Good.
Well, let me touch base on the dinner thing. You said like about going out to dinner. Yeah, I don't mind going out to dinner, taking a wine and diner. Screw that, I'll cook for you. I can save money right there. But desire.
That's whining and dining. Shoot, you got work to do that.
I'm a chef, so I can give you a 5-star restaurant meal.
Whining and dining.
Name what you want, I can cook it. I don't want to brag. I know things in the kitchen. I'm saying, I'm just a little bit of good. But seriously, on a serious note,
not the slight flex.
Hey, listen, if I have to start cooking up there where you're located at, I will come over and wine and dine.
You know what? Y'all stay on topic. Let's stay on topic.
But seriously, I'm joking aside. But me want to desire somebody desire me. That's the most important thing. I want you to desire me. I want you to get excited when I see a text. I want you to be happy. I want you to be like, you hear my car pulling up. You're already halfway down the driveway greeting me. I miss those old days.
Hank, stop it, Hank.
Oh, he has something to say. I can't wait.
I didn't say anything. I just hope my man ain't lurking in the bushes nowhere. That's all.
What bushes? I have no idea what you're talking about.
She knows what I'm talking about. She knows what I'm talking about.
Oh boy,
I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I miss the old days that you phoning off, even the old flip phones, and you saw her name, we got excited. Like now you're one click away, get replaced. Dating's not like what it used to be. It's a dying species now, a dying art.
I would agree with that. John, did you want to go?
Yeah, old boy to me sounded. You want her to desire you, but then once she desires you, you get what you want, then you're done with her. You're playing with a lady's emotions when you do that. I mean, I'm not trying to promote this lifestyle, but just recognize where we're living in today's society. Stop wanting her to desire you if you don't want to. You trying to get the jump off. Don't stop trying to make it more than what it is. Once she starts falling for you, then you get what you want, then you walk away. Just, I don't know. It's like I don't know. You have the right to do whatever you want to as a man, as a woman. You have the right to do whatever you want to. But I don't think we recognize, what your rights after you have the right, but you don't. I think you don't think your rights through, like how they affect people in society. And I think that's what we got to stop being so short sighted. You have the right to do whatever you want to do, but then when you choose what you want to do, how does it play out 10, 15, 20 years down the road? Because your choice that you make today is going to affect your choice 15, 20 years down the road. I don't think we think like that though.
Right. I think you're right. I think you're right. And because of that, I have this last video that I want to show. This is the visual depiction of the cards that I did one show at the beginning. I don't know. Pink, I think you were up here. King, I think you were here. But remember, I told you guys there was a card game. And I started by watching them on Instagram. I think I saw their clips, Skin Too Deep. But these are the conversations that we need to start having because you need to dig a little bit deeper. Like John the Baptist was saying, people are not thinking about the future. When you're younger, you're not thinking about the future. And then you get to a certain age and you're like, dang, I should have did this, or dang, I should have, looked at this person differently or treated this person differently, right? And so even the people that you're not with anymore, I'm going to play this video and really think, those who are watching, those who are on the panel, really think about this question and what your answer would be if you were sitting across from that person. And then hopefully maybe you can do this exercise with them in real life. But I think that more of this needs to happen rather than the back and forth wars and things like that. We need to start having deeper conversations, especially if we want, we talk about relationships and we talk about the family and things like that. We need to start talking about the deeper conversations that need to be had between the two people as opposed to all the people on the outside of the two people. So I'm going to play this video.
I think I am in your life.
You have changed my life. We both know that it's because that's something we share in common is our faith. And I don't think that anything is because of happenstance, that it just happens, or I believe that everything's pretty much pre-written by a higher power. And so I've got to say our higher power is what brought us together. Mm. You were nowhere on my radar.
No, I wasn't.
Why?
Why do you think he brought me here? Why?
To hold my hand through life and be my partner. And I'm going to go back to that second date. I talked for 4 hours about my past, and you didn't even flinch.
No.
So I wanted to play that video because a lot of people don't ask the reason why somebody is in your life. You know what I mean? Even if they're no longer in your life, do you realize the purpose that they had in your life? Because I believe that everyone, comes with a purpose, even if that purpose has long gone, but we have to start asking ourselves, why is this person in our lives? Because if not, you're going to find yourself wasting time with the person that you don't really feel, that you don't think fills a purpose in your life. And I think that everything has a place and every person has a purpose. So if we don't start asking ourselves, well, what's the purpose of them? Like for Hank and his lady, her purpose is to be his wife, to be his helpmate. But I'm pretty sure that somebody else had a purpose in his life to make him maybe see things a little bit differently, to have a different perspective. The actual King Smith doesn't want to get married again, yet he has a woman in his life. What is her purpose? We don't want to waste people's time. And I'm not saying you wasting her time. Don't take that in a bad way. I'm just saying. Just saying You
And
had a certain perspective, and now you have somebody additional in your life after you've had that perspective, and she could be, not necessarily changing you, but having an effect on you in a good way, in a
hey,
way that another woman may not have had, and you've been married before, may not
mhm.
in a way that another woman has had, and you like, I'm not gonna get married again. It's a high chance, even though I could have swore I heard the word never, ever, 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 ever.
I can
I
vouch
could
for that one.
I could have
I
sworn,
I it is
but
rare that I
I
speak in
digress.
absolutes.
But
Hopefully
I'm
she's not
just
watching this.
saying there's purpose. There's purpose there. She's not just there. You didn't run across this good woman for no reason.
Yet marriage doesn't have to be the end goal.
I'm not saying that it has to be the end goal, but are you asking yourself, why are you with me? Why am I with you? What is your purpose here? You know what I mean? So I think that is important for us to ask ourselves and the other people that are in our lives. What is your purpose here? Why are you here? What exactly? What do you want at this address? What is it? You know what I mean? You have to ask yourself. The person who wants, the person who wants to receive, the person who wants to give, you have to ask yourself, why are they in your life? Because you don't pick your family. Some of us don't pick our family, you know? So you can't ask why they in your life. They just got, look, you're going to have to deal with them. Okay.
No,
But
you
other
don't.
people, you don't have,
Cut them off too.
when I mean you have to deal with the point that there's nothing that you could change about them being your family, is what I'm saying. You don't have to deal with them. You're absolutely right. But everybody else, you have a choice to deal with them. You don't have to. You really don't. So at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, why am I here? And if I serve no purpose, why should I stay? If they find no purpose in me, why should I stay? If they don't really give me, women are supposed to be helpmates. If you ain't giving me nothing to do, what am I here for?
I think the statement you're making is it's more difficult. We already established that people, well, my point of view, people are dating without a purpose, and so when they get together, they don't know why they're together. They don't know how they benefit each other than sexual desires or some whatever self-centered purpose they decide to be with each other. So it's kind of hard to like know what a person's purpose is if you don't have a purpose for dating. If you're not planning to go anywhere. If it's just sex, then it's just sex. Outside of that, then that person better be complete with just having sex with you, or whatever the purpose that you decide to get together.
I agree with that.
See,
So
till you mentioned like what the purpose of somebody's in your life, I never thought of that till you actually said that, and that's something actually I need to think about because I never processed it like that. I always thought they're in my life for a reason. Maybe God brought them in my life, but what is the reason? I couldn't answer that because I don't know because I never thought about it to now.
it's like for me, it's like I throw a personal anecdote here. Uh, I got married young. I got married at 21. I knew at 18 I was going to get married. I already knew it. Um, Purpose, intentional. Everything I did was intentional. Everything I did wasn't right, but it didn't end up well. It didn't always go where I thought it was going to go, but it was always intentional to be, married early, start a family, career, work, all that stuff. It was always intentional. It was never. So I think, therefore, when I picked my wife, when I saw my wife, when I first met her, within 3 months, I knew this is my wife. I saw how she moved. We met in the military. I knew how she would add to my life and how I would add to her life. It was purpose. It was intentional. So when I started dating her, she knew exactly the goal and vision I had for her and me, family. Therefore, she knew how to move. It was intentional, purposeful. People are not doing that now. People are just self-centered, and therefore, it's kind of hard to describe purpose because you don't know what you're doing and what you want that person in your life to do in your life. So I don't want to be the dead horse.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Um, but I'm glad that Pete was actually able to grasp onto that and just say, hey, I never thought about it before, because we have to think about it, right? We have to think about those things. When you're younger, again, you think that you have time, and time is not always on our hands or on our side. Time is not always something that we can depend on. It's not always something that we can be like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll tell them
See,
tomorrow.
when I was younger, my parents, and again, this is a Greek thing, drove in your head, you have to get married, you have to start a family. At younger, the better, because you don't want to get too old and you're not going to enjoy your life. And I'll be honest with you, my therapist actually helped me process this, and it was like, you're still young, you still have time. I literally looked at one of my good friends. Actually, me and King are friends. You know what I'm talking about, CQ. And I was talking to him, and I go like, dude, who's the heck wants me now? I'm old. I don't have kids. I'm nothing. I'm like, I'm done. He goes like, he looked at him like, are you serious, dude? And he goes like, you're fine. Like, your time will come. You just gotta be patient. Your time is gonna come when it comes. And it took me a little bit to understand that. Now I do understand that. And I'm the type of person, like, I might not think why people are in my life, but I feel like every person comes in my life, I'm trying to make a difference, make them better, to make them grow.
Okay. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up with some final thoughts. I really do appreciate you. Always appreciate you guys joining the panel and giving your perspective from the male's side of things. But if we wanted to wrap it up tonight, we had we talked about Fresh and Fit and how they were canceled. We also talked about Derek Jackson and how, he's pretty much saying what he would do sexually triggered his wife and her trauma. We also talked about dating and why we are here in different relationships with other people. So you guys want to give a closing word on any of that? I would appreciate it. We'll start with Pete. We'll go to Hank, John the Baptist, and then King.
Well, I'm gonna continue with my last statement. Think why people are in your life, because I'm thinking about it right now. That's gonna be my next project for the next week or so, to think why everybody in my life. Even from you guys, I might not meet most of you guys in person, but hopefully I will one day. Hopefully we all can have beers and laugh one day and actually get to know each other in person. But I have to think, why am I doing this? Why am I giving time and effort to somebody? Why is the key word.
Thank you. Gracias. Mr. Hank.
Well, I know, like it. Watching that last video, I guess that guy can recall I think he said their second date.
Yeah, they talked for like 4 hours.
Yeah, their second date. They spent, like I said, talked for 4 hours. That man had an agenda. He had an agenda. His agenda was, he's really interested in this woman, to the point where he's having a sit-down conversation with this woman for 4 hours, and he sounded like he was pouring out his heart, letting this woman know, this is what I'm looking for. This is who I am. Hopefully you can rock with it. And I assume she can, because she's still in there with it. So there's no age limit on when you can let it be know what your intentions are. It doesn't matter. Like John about said, he said he 21, he did what he needed to do. He did what he needed to do. So, hey, if you're mentally in that place, well, it's your time, and you ready to let the fast life go, leave all these other women. You're focusing on this one special lady. Then lock in and do what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? Lock in and do what you need to do. Let that lady know your intentions, and hopefully she lets you know her intentions, and y'all can rock from there. Now, if her intentions are not aligning up with your intentions, you might want to evaluate and look to move in a different directions. Don't continue this relationship if her intentions are not, step by step with yours, because that's not going to be a recipe for success. That's going to be a recipe for disaster, and nobody wants that. So make sure you are lock and step with the lady who you're with. My lady, we in lock and step. Tough questions asked, and she even asked me now, when did I first fall in love with her? She thinks I'm crazy every time I tell her. Every time I tell her, she thinks I'm crazy. She thinks I'm just bullshit. I said, no, I'm not.
Don't give us the wedding speech now. It's like, no, I'm just kidding.
Shit, we ain't gonna be no speech at the courthouse.
I know that's right.
Ain't gonna be one speech at the courthouse.
I do.
But no, she her question was, when did I first knew I fell in love? And I always tell her back in '94 in the cafeteria, Winslow Hall cafeteria, Murray State University. I was 19, she was 20. I said I knew then.
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't work out. It just didn't work out then. It wasn't meant for us to make that happen then. But later on down the road, we was able to get back together, rekindle, and go from there.
I think King trying to calculate. He trying to do some calculations.
Hey, brother, hey, rock on, man.
That's right. He knew.
Oh, bro, I thought you made him be 44 max. Respect, man.
94.
Salute.
You talking about my age?
Damn.
I'm 48 years old.
I got a question for Hank.
I did not know you was close to 50, brother. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Salute.
I got a question for Hank.
That's Uncle Hank right there.
Hank, good question. Seriously. At the wedding, are you going to invite us? And if it's an open bar?
Oh, my God.
I said a courthouse. I'm not having a wedding.
Now, I don't care about a wedding. I said afterwards. Are you going to the bar
like a
on
reception.
drinks on you?
Look, I don't drink, so I'm gonna have a fifth of water. I'm gonna have bags of cases of water. I'm gonna say unlimited water on me. Y'all drink up. Be merry.
Is there food there?
BYOB.
Is it gonna be? No, we're gonna get a cater. We're gonna have a reception. So I told her when we do, we're not gonna have no wedding. We're going to the courthouse. We're gonna go on a real nice honeymoon, and when we come back, we're gonna have a reception for family and friends to come to and enjoy. But don't be one of those cheap gift givers. You won't get an invite.
Okay. Do you need a chef?
Man, come on. If you want to be the chef, come on, bud.
I got you, brother.
Look at the sales.
Is that gonna be your wedding gift to me? I appreciate it.
Yeah, I would actually. I would do it. I will recruit some people. I don't know about King. He can convert water. I heard, but I can hook you up some nice food.
We'll come up with a menu and we'll go from there. I know that's right.
I'll hook you up, brother. Don't worry.
I love it.
We might not agree on some things, but there's one thing I will agree is, when two people fall in love, wedding stuff, food's coming first.
Aw, this is so beautiful.
That's right.
Did we just become friends?
I don't know about that, but we're working on it.
All right.
That man just volunteered to cook your food for your reception. You better be his friend, bro.
Right.
John, I said I better hurry up and accept that friend request. I know that's right. Hey, John, Susan
How much those caterers are?
Yeah, I'm gonna see it accept.
I'm not sure how far you're from PA, but I gotta schedule that too.
No, I'm in Kentucky, so we'll have a conversation, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, we have that. That's a private conversation.
Yeah, you got about a year. You got about a year to get your. We got to get your plane ticket and get you down.
Nice chef.
I can make it work.
Sharpened.
This time next year, she'll be officially Mrs. Hink.
That's right.
We can make it work. I'll whip something nice for you guys.
I know that's right.
You gotta be practicing day and night. All right, John, with your final words.
Yeah, like I said earlier, you got the right to do whatever you want to. Men and women got the right, whatever choice you make, you have the right to make that choice. But start thinking about the consequence of your choices. And also, too, I always tell men, be intentional. If your intention is to play around, be intentional. If your intention is to be married, be intentional. Don't leave stuff up to chance. Plan things out. It might not work out to your plans, but at least have a goal, something you're working towards. If you're intentional, you have a better chance of being more successful than just shooting at the wind and just miss aiming and not really hit anything. So I always try to encourage people to be intentional, whatever you're doing. Um, Simple. I mean, it's life is simple. We make it complex, we make it hard, but it's actually simple itself. Be intentional, and, and if she likes you, she likes you. If she doesn't, she doesn't. But be straight up.
Well, all right, y'all heard it here first. Be straight up. I always, close the show out by saying be real with yourself so you can be real with others. And I really mean that. You have to really be real with yourself. Even when others aren't real with you. Because, you only have one life to live, just like they only have one life to live. And if they want to, not be intentional about their lives, you have to let them go on about their way. And they probably are being intentional about their lives. They're just not, giving you the full, realness with that. But as a person who has a soul, who has a gut, who has intuition, men and women, you have to know when, what somebody playing in your face. So, do what you need to do and act accordingly. Well, I do thank you guys. I didn't mention in the beginning of the show, but tonight has been sponsored by jecreativehosting.com. There is,
Precious.
yes.
I didn't give a final thought.
Oh, I apologize. I'm so sorry, King. My
It's
bad.
it's all right. It's all right.
John the Baptist
Um,
kind of dropped the mic and I just left it there. I apologize.
Hey, so actually, what I was originally going to say was actually eerily similar to what he had. So
Mhm.
to bring some value that's a little bit different, I've talked about it on this channel before, but it's not my saying. I realized that once my money, energy, attention, and time meant a lot, that
Mhm.
kind of dictated and drove how I moved. So I got that. I got this saying, "Guard your meat," from this content creator, Greg Adams, and something about that really had resonated with me because after my divorce, I was married at 20. uh didn't go into a marriage intending on being divorced at 34, yet that's what happened. And when I got out and I started dating was different than how it was when I was 18, 19 years old. And I had to learn that my money, energy, attention, and time was sacred to me. So when I got out dating, I was very intentional about communicating that, being real, and being upfront. I don't understand why men hide that. I believe the goal might be to, they're afraid of saying the wrong thing
Sex
because
and
their
food.
goal is to try to, slide in and get the cheeks or whatever. And they don't want to say nothing that's going to talk them out the draws. But no, I subscribe to be open, be honest, be transparent, be hot with yourself, be hot with others, and life can really be lived simple. Just like what John said, I think people overcomplicate things, and it doesn't have to be. Once I started doing that, I'm not gonna say life became on easy mode, but stuff just got way more simple once I started being honest with myself and everybody else.
Guard your meat.
Guard your meat,
Money, energy, attention, and
attention,
time.
and time. Yep.
Once you guard that, you're, standing outside the gates of what's going on in your world. And, you're intentional when you decide to do that. So thank you so much. And again, I apologize. All right, guys, we've come to the end of the show. So my mom sings this song, right? And it goes, I'm so glad we had this time together. And I hate when she sings it, but for some reason, I had
Uh-oh.
a little bit of my mama just came up, but every single time we leave the house, she sings that song. So, hey, mama, love you. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys, the men's panel, you guys in the chat. Thank you. The super chats that came through, I really appreciate you guys. Again, tonight has been sponsored by jecreativehosting.com. So if you guys are trying to make a new website, there is a place for you to host it. There is a code of HCM22 as a promotional code. So definitely go over to those guys and get your website up and running today. Again, I thank you guys. As I always say, be real with yourself so you can be real with others. You guys have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Peace.